Hey everybody, Rich here, South Florida Beekeeping with Rich. So let's see, today would be the 16th of February. It's a beautiful afternoon, about 76, 77 degrees. Humidity is low for our area. What we need to do today is you saw a video where I put I dumped the bees from a bucket into a box with a queen excluder on the bottom, and I took the bees that were hanging out where the bucket was after dark and put them over here. When I came out in the morning, the queen had wiggled her way through the queen excluder and back up into the bucket, and everybody had moved back into the bucket. And so, well, maybe a queen could be skinny enough if she was mated to do that, but it made it much more likely, given the small size of this swarm, that it might have been a secondary swarm with a virgin queen in it. So I didn't bother them. I just left them here. But this morning I'm out here and bees have been bringing in pollen hand over fist. I mean, I was watching at one point this morning. There's one going in with pollen. There were like 5 bees. There was another one with pollen in a row. No, they're bringing in pollen. Then if she went out and got mated, then she started laying. So I've got to get these bees into a box so that I can get some feed on them.
Well, let's do it.
Yep. Okay. Well, before we could have used these frames, when we dumped them in here as a swarm, they could have been building on these this whole time. But now we have to use frames with nothing in them so that we can put rubber bands on them. And we started with this.
Aren't you doing it crisscross across the back?
Yeah, I am here in reality. But the first one I'm going to do is one with my wires here.
Okay.
Because there's so much work to make, but they're just so easy to use. We've done videos on this in the past. It's a great setup. It's actually designed to be used on top bars, and it works quite well for that. So what we do now is we pick this up, we move it out of the way, we slide this one over there. At this point, there's no reason to keep a queen excluder in it because these bees have been here for the most part of a week. And one way or the other, they're going to stay. So let's put the tools over here for a minute. All right, ladies, up you go. And over here. Slide you over where they were. You back on there. Okay. And away we go. Let's see, let's get this away.
Let's see what we
Ready?
have. Yep.
Yeah, this is a real tiny, tiny, tiny. Hello, girls. Keep a lookout for a queen. Just a minute
Were you
here.
going to mark her if you found her?
If I find her, I'll put her in a queen cage and we'll mark her here. Yeah, okay. Putting away pollen. Get you out of the way. Do-do-do. Not exactly doing this in a video friendly way, am I? But
No,
I'm
but
left-handed, dear, so
I
can't
know.
really do it your way. All right, ladies.
Are you seeing any eggs or is it mostly pollen?
I'm seeing just pollen. I'm not seeing eggs.
Okay.
I'm just going to have to say, well, it just really doesn't matter that much. Hmm.
Looks like you got them just in time before the comb became too large for the frame.
Yep.
Another day or so, and it would have been
Well,
piecemeal.
because they don't have any sugar water to help them out here, they are building slower.
Well, that's their fault. They
That's their
abandoned.
fault.
What's she doing?
She seems to be, oh, there we go. She's dragging around a droplet of something.
Hmm.
That's not her sack. She's, huh. Okay, and all we need is one of these.
We started using this cross your heart method, so to speak, of the rubber bands, as it seems to work a little better in keeping the comb in a steady position.
It makes it easier to put the whole thing together. What it does, it allows you just to lay the comb on the two back pieces.
Well, it gives you more support, just like
And
the
that
commercial says.
yeah. And that allows me to lift it up and put the rubber bands that go vertically on it. All right. So we will be able to use a couple of these. Let's see which way that arrow is going.
Did you get sidetracked?
No, not really. But I want to have things arranged.
Because I had to put those in last so you don't roll anybody.
I'm only putting in 2 right now, dear. Putting in 2 right now will help the situation. Perfect.
Can you still give them that itty bitty one over there?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I don't think it matters, but they've got some food in it.
Yeah,
Oops.
no, you just have to wait till I get the other part done. See, this is what makes it easy to use
Right.
those.
You know, you have two on the other side of the frame, right?
Yes, dear, I do.
Okay.
I do know that. But I happen to have this tucked so nicely into my arm right now that I don't want to disturb this nice balance that I've
I see.
achieved.
I just know that the bees are going to chew up all that elastic and get rid of it anyway. So,
And I think I will take this moment.
you are going to use the foundation one after all.
Yeah, why not?
Might keep them a little more straight.
That's the theory. And it usually works out pretty well. The theory. Okay, everybody. I just need a lid. Really gross. There you go. Okay. Toss this on for the moment and hope they use this sugar before it has a chance to seep out like that last bunch did. And lid on.
You've got a couple in the top.
Yes, dear. Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to convince her to go anywhere.
Yeah.
She's on the sugar water
Yep.
big time. So she's just going to have to be sacrificial for the moment.
Now let's see
Actually, she doesn't have to be.
what's going on in the front.
No, I do want to do that. Okay. Yeah. Never mind. I was thinking I'd lift the back of the lid on there, but no, then a whole bunch of bees would start going in.
Yeah,
I
no.
don't want that.
I'm just watching to see if we see any Nasonoff behavior, if they start going in. As you can see, not a lot of bees are being attracted to the cover anymore now that he's removed all the pertinent stuff, the majority of the comb and whatnot. We can leave the rest of the comb on there. It'll just be good swarm lure.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'll just have to get a bucket.
Oh, I see a bee coming back with some bright yellow pollen.
I'm not going to run on three sides of the barn, dear. Come on.
Oh, I see. Just giving him an easier way to get access.
Yeah. Let those last few bees walk up. Yep, that's some bright yellow pollen.
Yes, it is. So what's blooming in the area right now that would produce bright yellow? We used to have a pollen chart.
Well, I don't know what color pollen Bachophias do because all the Bachophias around here are so big that I can't really pull down flowers and looking at them.
Hmm.
But
They're tall.
I'm good. Yeah, they're big old trees. So I'm just going to guess that since they are in full bloom right now, and that's what everybody else is going on, that probably it's just that, just probably Bashophia. Doesn't necessarily have to be. Yeah, there's water in there. Okay. That's it. Another easy peasy swarm transfer from bucket to the hive.
Which would have been a lot easier if they'd taken the first time.
Yeah, it would have.
But they decided they liked the bucket better for some reason.
Given the very small size of this swarm, which if this had been an overwintered colony, it would have presumably been a much bigger swarm. I'm guessing that a prime swarm went somewhere else and that this was a secondary swarm and must have had a virgin queen, which is why she was able to just slip through the queen excluder so easily. But at least they didn't go anywhere. They just walked right back into the bucket, which was sitting, of course, right here, and they just walked back in. So we'll just have to see.
I'm looking at some serious pollen, stuffed pollen sacs on some of these bees.
Well, you saw all that
Yep.
pollen that was getting made into bee bread in there, so yep, I'd say this is pretty much a done deal.
Yeah, you said that last time. Bee's gonna do what bee's gonna do.
Bee's gonna do what bee's gonna do. And if they leave, well, at least they serve the purpose of saying, hey, wake up. It's time for you to make sure you got all your ducks in a row or all your bees in a comb
and all your
be ready
swarm
for
traps ready.
Yeah, gee, this is the only swarm trap that hasn't been prepped and put up yet. So
and yet somehow this is the one they chose.
Yep.
Without the freshened lure, without any of the other stuff. So,
no accounting for taste.
This is true.
I guess it's true what they say. It's all about location.
They must have liked the location.
Yeah.
Do you see any Nasonoff behavior?
I really don't.
I don't either.
Not yet. But then remember, we just put this back where it's been all along, so they may not even feel the inclination. Yep, they're still getting pollen from the Richardia, though, because there's some beige pollen on some of their
I noticed that too, yes.
So at least we know what that one is.
Well, they seem to be sorting themselves out and going inside.
They seem quite mellow about the whole situation. Okay. first swarm transfer of the year from our
Well,
backyard
technically
apiary.
second. The first one was when we tried to get them out of the bucket the first time.
Yep,
Yep,
I
now this
guess
is the
so.
second.
But this will be the second. Now, if I come out tomorrow morning and there's no bees here, and because they decided they just did not want to be in a box, well, we'll just have to see if there's another swarm in one of the other traps in the morning. It might be them. Otherwise, this is Rich. This has been South Florida Beekeeping with Rich. It is most definitely the beginning of swarm season down here. I consider the beginning of swarm season to be February 2nd. Remember, Groundhog Day. So on your mark, get set, go. Have all your boxes ready. Bye-bye.